Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to my photography editing live stream where you can submit your images before the stream starts and I edit them here for you live using DxO Photolab 9. Currently I'm on version 9.9 and it's the latest version I believe, but I guess the next version will have to be 10, right? Because we're running out of digits. Anyhow, thank you for the audio video check. Yeah, hopefully it's all sorted now, but you never know. And the editing I do here is primarily to give you an editing workflow using DxO Photolab and just kind of give you an idea of how to use the tools and the kind of results you can get using Photolab. And what better way to do it than with your own photos? And time to time we like to talk about the composition and the subjects. A lot of times I get some really interesting pictures, so I may comment on that as well. But in no way is it a critique or judgment of any of the photos that come in. This is strictly for educational purposes. So that said, I got a lot of images today, so I will go ahead and get started. Let me just lock my chair down so I'm not rocking the whole time. And let's see. Okay, so first one I have up is here from William. And oh, one other thing I want to mention is I am an affiliate for DxO, and right now they are running a summer deal for 20% off for new customers. So use my affiliate link down below and the coupon code for 20% off. It's pretty substantial savings. Probably won't see that again until Black Friday. So look out for that. And it helps support the channel, what I do here. And other ways you can support is become a member or uh, make a donation directly to the links below or buy me a coffee. That'll be great. So without further ado, let's get started. All right. So we have let's see, it looks like either a moon set or a moon rise. I think based on the time, looks like a moon set, assuming this is correct. But uh, either way, really great shot. And it's a 40-second exposure, so that's interesting. I'm surprised that there's not more motion blur here in the moon, because the moon moves quite a bit in 40 seconds. But it looks relatively crisp as well as the clouds. So I look at the exposure values here just to kind of give me a feel for what were subjective choices and what were, just settings, right? For exposure. And that's where I usually start is I look at the overall exposure, I look at the white balance, I look at the composition for balance, symmetry, all the typical compositional rules or guidelines. And I always try to make those adjustments first before I start getting into the local adjustments. And in this case, the composition I think is fairly well balanced. I'm trying to give some thought to maybe doing a vertical and also the white balance is a little bit cool, which makes sense because this was shot at night or in the dark. So what I might do is play with the white balance a bit to see if I can get a little bit more interesting color. But as it is now, it looks like it was set to sunny white balance or daylight, which is fine. I just want to try a couple other white balances. That feels pretty good. The flash or even shade. The eyedropper is almost completely useless because we want to keep the moon this beautiful orange glow. And I don't think there's really any other white points I can reference. So I'm just going to stick with I think Flash looked best to me, around 6100. Okay, so I'm sorry. The other thing I like to do is just apply a default preset. I give these away for free on my website, but I'm going to go ahead and apply my default preset here. And what this does is optical corrections and noise reduction and a little bit of sharpening. I find this works on just about any image I throw at it. Okay, so now let me go ahead and set the white balance back to flash. And I'm going to look at the composition. Like I said, right away, for whatever reason, I felt like a vertical might work for this one. And we'll get rid of that one little. You can either look at this, looks like the tail lights of a car, either as a distraction or as an accent. I don't see it really adding to the picture much. Really like the moon to feel like it's more near the top of the frame. And let's just add a little bit of clarity to the moon. So we're going to use the clear view and maybe some micro contrast just to bring out some of the details. And then I'm going to select the sky, maybe just brighten that up a bit. And let's brighten up the ground. And I'm just using the AI masking tool. Let's just push a little bit there with some clear view. Okay. And all right, so I'm not 100% on the vertical. Maybe something off center like this. Honestly, I think that works a little better. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. What I wanted to do is just go back here. And just balance this a little bit. Okay, I think that's it. So just do a quick comparison side by side. Oops, I was taking pictures of Ellie as usual. No corrections without geometry. So basically I did a heavy crop so we could just see a little more detail in the moon. You know, this transition here is not balanced. Let me look. There is a cloud here. God, I can't leave it like that. Let me go back to my, so this mask, it's this mask. What if I do a little bit of a negative? Then go back to the sky, get rid of that. Because I do see some very, very minor clouds here. I wonder if I can bring those out a bit. Let me try. Yeah, they're a little bit too similar, but Uh, right about there. Okay, that that feels better. All right, now let's compare. Um, so I did pretty heavy crop just to kind of fill the frame a little bit more. And this, the way this is framed, now that the taillights kind of give it a little more accent, tiny bit of scale. But yeah, I missed this part in the beginning. I can see very subtle hints of clouds in this scene, but I'm not able to bring them out. All right, not bad. Okay, let's go to the next one here. Thank you, William, for sending that one. And I'm gonna hit the F9 key to bring my panels back out. Let's apply my let's try extra sharp. I usually use extra sharp whenever I have wildlife. It's not quite filling the frame, but I think that's good. Yeah. All right, so let's get in really tight. So we're going to crop in, and we'll do a vertical. And let me try and find just the right, maybe something like that. So what I'm looking at are my corners down here and over here. I think that works. So we just need to kind of darken the background and brighten up the bird. So let me try it with we'll select the bird using the AI tool. Let's add about a half here. And then let's subtract 1. Stop globally. Go back to the local. Let's make this 1 stop. About 1.5. Okay. I think that works. And then let's just give it a little bit more tonnage. A little bit of an S curve on the tone. A little bit of clear view. Did I apply my preset yet? I did. Okay, so a tiny bit of micro contrast there. Whoops. And then we'll add a little bit of sharpening. And let me just punch in. That looks good. Okay. And then just a little bit more vibrancy. And let's punch up the yellows and oranges. Okay. Then let's add a little iris in the eye. I think there's a little bit there. We'll see if we can bring it out. Some clear view and micro contrast. Not too much, but that's all right. Right in there. And let's do the beak. So I always do eyes, beak, talons when I do birds. I like those particular points on the bird to be a little bit crispier, a little bit shinier. So micro contrast and clear view, maybe some Just a little push to the highlight there. Okay. And this one doesn't really have talons. He just got a little bit of feet. But let me check. I think we can add just a little bit to the feet. Let me try with the auto masking brush. And just clean that up a little bit. Okay. All right, and then let me go back to the global settings. Just going to give a slight push in the shadows. Now, let's do it another way. Use the local adjustments. Maybe a little bit warmer on the white balance. And then let's do another mask. Let me see where we're at. Yeah. Just need to be a little bit brighter. Come back a little bit. All right. Let's call it there. So F9 key and then compare. So the image on the left is the original, and then here's my edit. So it's basically just making the bird stand out a little more with some contrast and saturation. If we get really close, and let's compare with geometry so things line up, we can see how DxO did with pulling out details and denoising. I think that came out pretty good. And then down here on the feet, yeah, looks good. So I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so very nice, really beautiful bird to catch. Gosh, did you just catch that out in the wild? I would love to see a bird like that. Okay, here's one from Martin. Now this is very similar to one we did last week. It's probably taken within the same couple of minutes. But last week when I did the edit, I didn't really emphasize the flaring too much. It turns out this is a natural flare coming onto the lens. So I'm going to try and emphasize that and use that creatively this time around. Okay. So let's do our default, well, let's do extra sharp again. We'll just start with that. Uh-oh. Okay, we'll start with that. And composition-wise, I don't think I need to do much. He's kind of, the monkey's facing the left now instead of the right. So what I might do is just crop in onto the right side this time. Put them towards the bottom third. Need a little more space on the bottom. Okay, I think that works. And then let me see if I can emphasize that flare just a bit. And I want to make that flare a bit warmer. So let's tighten up the chroma and the luma to try to isolate the flare. I'm just going to move this slightly just to see. Okay. So I'm going to make the flare just a bit warmer. And we'll add a little bit of magenta in there. And let's try some clear view. Then we'll really push it. Okay. So like I said, these are all creative choices. Now we just need to darken the background. I think I'll just drop some control points in. So make a new mask. Pull that in. Maybe white balance a little cooler. Just a tad. Maybe add a little contrast. Is that really doing anything? A little bit. Okay, we're going to add some warmth in back down in here again. But I think we're okay. Let's just back this off a bit. Okay, let's add one more control point. And, well, a couple more. And we'll just kind of just make these a little smaller down the way. Maybe I don't need that one. Just these. Maybe one there. Okay. Add a tiny bit of highlight. And then let's emphasize some of the hair. Give them a little rim lighting. Maybe a brush. Let's try brush. We'll start there. Add a little bit here and here. A little bit in here. Let's see how that works. Add a little bit of warmth. Okay, not bad. Let's erase a little bit off with a regular brush. So I need to make a submask. Pick a regular brush, negative. And let's just see if we can take a little bit off here. Is that doing it or not? Oh, that's adding. So hold on, negative. Let me start over. Shoot. Let me delete that. Let me submask. brush, negative. There we go. Why is it? If I do this 100%, am I not understanding how to use this tool? Oh, it is working. Okay. Yeah, that's right. So let me add a little bit back in. A little bit off. Okay. I think that's good. It's a little bit too crispy in the corner, so let me soften that up. I think those were down here. Yeah. These. So I'm going to back these off just a bit. And yeah, pull back this contrast. All right, we'll call it there. Okay, so here's the original image on the left, and I just cropped in a little tighter and emphasized that lens flare. But really, really cool shot. I don't know if I really did it justice here, but the idea, I just want to share the ideas that I have uh, and how to use the tools to execute that idea, right? So again, everything is very subjective, but there you have it. Okay, let's do one more and then I'll get to the chat section. So here we have a landscape. It's done in a vertical. Let's apply a default preset. This is a little out of focus and there's nothing really interesting down here. I like it starting here. And then this shoreline is really pretty. The horizon's a little off. So let's fix that first. I think I'll just eyeball it. Okay, that looks good. Okay. Yeah, I don't like this vertical because there's just nothing in the foreground that's all that interesting. So let's do a 16 by 9. Let's come up here. See if 16 by 9 will balance this. I think that works. Okay, let's just clean up some of the background. Oops. I need to move my eyedropper somewhere in the blue area. And let's do a little bit of clear view. Okay. It's a bit too much. right about there with some micro contrast. Okay, let's bring in some of the shadows. So I'll just use a control point, a new layer or mask. We'll just bring these up like so. Maybe down here. Just here. Let's do in there. I want to maintain some contrast here. And then I'm going to add a little bit. Let me come back to that. Let's go back to this. This and this. I'm just going to back it off with the opacity. Okay. New mask. Just going to add a little more contrast. A little bit tighter. Okay. We're almost there. Go over here. Just to add a little bit of clear view and micro contrast. Just adjust the color to, I like vivid. Let's portrait. Let's go with vivid. All right, let's do that one. So the original, this vertical, like I said, there's a lot of negative space here that I'm just not seeing what was in here that adds to this. It's a really big distraction for me. And I think the horizontal emphasizes, the background a bit more as well. So if we just do a split view and just look at the entire thing, I didn't really have to do much because it was pretty well exposed. We have really nice light. All I did was just add a little bit of clarity. Okay. Very good. So before we go to this next one, little cute bunny rabbit. I need to take a 1 minute break. I'll be right back. So just bear with me. All right. Thanks for your patience there. So I see Henning is here. Good to see you. Good morning, and good morning, John. Good to see you. Bamsam, good afternoon. From the Faroe Islands. Wow, how lucky is that? And good morning, Tom. Robert, good to see you. I think you sent in a photo this week too, so we'll take a look at that. And happy Friday, Larry. And audio video good. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. And Paul is here as always. Good to see you. And Marcia, good morning. And never stop rocking. Okay. I'm a little bit too melancholy for that, but Kevin, good morning as always. And yes, 1/40th of a second, not 40 seconds. Okay, now that moonshot makes more sense. I don't know why I read 1/40th of a second and then thought it was 40 seconds. My brain, I'm thinking astro when I see the moon. But it makes sense now why there was no motion blur. And you did a spot focus on the moon, okay. And the car for size instead of just a moon, yes. So a little bit of scale. And it's a nice accent too to the photo, I think, rather than just a barren, negative space. There's a nice little light there, which makes sense, right? Of something that makes sense that would be there. And Heather, good morning. And Anthony, good morning. And for now, it looks like iceberg season is over for this year. May the best time of the year on the Great Northern Peninsula. Wow. It's just too cold where you are. For me. I've seen videos online of colder places. It's crazy. Like in Siberia, I think. Could go for some iceberg season down here. Yeah, it's pretty hot. We're going to break 100 degrees a couple of days in a row. Any thoughts on how the new Adobe editing is now with Topaz compared to DxO? No. I haven't tried it. So I have to see. I have to see. I haven't opened my Lightroom up in about a week. So, but I'll check it eventually. I mean, Topaz has always been very good, but still not as good as DxO. I think one of the key differences, unless it's changed, one of the key differences with DxOs, particularly the denoising, is it does it while it's demosaicing the image. So it's looking at every raw pixel rather than when it's demosaicing, it looks at each pixel during the demosaicing process, whereas I don't think the other denoising software does that. Okay, good crop on the landscape. I really like the beach area between the two peaks. Yeah, that was kind of my favorite part too. And good morning, Gordon. Good to see you. Agree, very positive edit. Amazing how Rob just has that vision so quickly. Oh, thanks. I try. One of the things I get commented on frequently, like on my camera club, is how quick I edit and post my photos. Like usually within the hour from getting home, I can call through thousands of images and find just a few that were pretty good and edit them. Then I have to wait days for other people to post. My bird is blue goosebeak superior. Oh, cool. I've never seen one of those down here where I am here in Maryland and Virginia. All right, let's go to the bunny. And I'm going to hit the F9 key. And let's apply extra sharp, because we did fill the frame quite a bit with this one. And I think the same thing here, like we did with the bird, is just brighten up the bunny a little bit, add some saturation, and the crop is pretty good. We don't need to do much there. It's a good balance, even though it's a little bit tight on the bottom. So I might crop in just a little bit, just to balance the top and the bottom. So I did my extra sharp, okay. And let's just come in a little bit tighter. Maybe even do a 5x4. And I think that works. I wonder if I cut off the ears even a little bit. I think that works well. Let me just come in very tight, because really all the interest is right here. So let me look at the balance here. I think I can come in just a little bit more. Okay, that feels good. All right, and then let's highlight the bunny using the AI mask. And I'm just going to brighten it up, like just using the selective tone. Add a little clear view. Let's give it some vibrance. Touch of saturation there. Okay, I can just barely see a pupil there, but maybe. But let me just darken the background a bit. Let's go about one stop. We'll come back to the bunny. Let's add one, maybe a stop back in. That's too much. Let's work at a half a stop roughly. Okay. That's good. I'm just gonna back this off a little bit. All right, let's see if we can find an iris in this eye. So I'm gonna use a control point. I see a little bit in here. Just a tiny bit. If I tighten up the chroma, yeah, there it is. Uh, just a tiny bit. Okay, let's back off the chroma a little bit. I think that's all we need. The ears look good. Lots of color there. The nose, maybe just a dab. And we need to just, there's a little bit of clipping here as well. Wait, I need to make a new mask. Let's drop it right on there. Let's unclip that highlight and add a little bit of shadow. Let's unclip that highlight too. All right, I'm going to add just a little bit of a vignette. Uh, right about here. So we'll turn the chroma and luma off. We'll invert it and just pull in just a little bit like this. Let me drop the opacity down. I feel like I'm getting a bit too much. Yeah, let's back off some of this crispiness. A little bit more light, a little bit more on the vignette. Okay, let's call it there. All right, so the reason I cropped in mainly was because the feet were touching the bottom of the frame, but the ears were not. So I just kind of wanted to balance that a little bit. And then, add a little bit of weight here on the left side uh, to offset sort of the right side, I guess. But that now it feels balanced, and like I said, this was the main thing, was the feet were very close to the edge of the frame here, and that's why I cropped in. And it's okay to cut off a little bit of the ears and legs like that. It's fine. So let's do a slider with geometry and just see. Let's wait for that to go. So yeah, it cleaned up a lot of noise and brought back a lot of the details there, as you can see. Okay, let's go to the next one. Um, let's apply a regular preset because we don't have a lot of pixels on the subject. If I use the extra sharp, it's going to get too crispy when we don't have a lot of pixels to work with. So I'm just going to crop in with a vertical. Let's go to 5x4. And that looks good. Let's go ahead and let's bring this exposure down a bit, about a half a stop. Maybe let's go a full stop. And then let's select the bird with the AI tool. And if we add a little bit in there, yeah. Okay, now let's crank up the vibrancy and a little bit of saturation. I think we can probably square crop this one. We just need to get in a little bit tighter. And we do have a nice iris here that I can see. So let me drag this down. See if we can bring that out. It's a little tighter on the chroma. And clear view and micro contrast. Okay. And let's just add a vignette. I wonder if I can bring out that eye a little more. Yeah, that looks good. Some of the fine details here, because the bird's on the edge of the frame. Let's see. Let me go to sharpness. I don't want it to get too crispy, but I think that's good. How's the feather detail holding up? Let me back this off. Yeah, this needs to be higher, like this. Okay, I think that works best. And then we'll just spot hit some of the background with a control point. A little bit tighter on the chroma. Maybe not. Maybe a little looser chroma and luma. Okay. So there's the original on the left. It's my edit on the right. Really interesting bird. I've never seen a peach color in a bird. I assume that's accurate. This kind of peach color in the feathers is really interesting. Um, but yeah, I think that works. Again, same idea. Just darken the background a little, brighten the subject up. You know, when we have a very clear, distinct subject, try to stay within about a stop difference when you do that. And then just pay attention to the saturation and fine details, particularly when we don't have a lot of pixels to work with. But very nice, very nice. Let's just do a quick split view with the, and let's go into 100% and just take a quick look at the fine details. And yeah, of course, as always, you know, even at 200%, DxO does a really nice job. Okay, let's go to the next one here. And the heck is this? Kind of, these seeds look like they have little faces with Pinocchio noses. It's interesting. And this yellow flower looks like a daffodil. I don't know if this flower or this yellow in the background is a flower of this particular plant. I'd like to keep it. Otherwise, it's kind of a distraction. But anyway, let's go ahead and do extra sharp. And compositionally, I think we're okay. It's just I wish I knew more about this plant, but I think that's a daffodil just based on the shape. So otherwise, I would just crop that part out. Let's try 5x4. And maybe I may not need to do too many local adjustments. Wonder if I do a black and white. Color looks best. Need a little bit of warmth in there. These are some creepy looking seeds. I'm gonna get rid of this yellow. The heck? Let me try that again. Yeah. I feel like there's a black and white here, though. Let me see. I do black and white. I would have to. Let's, let's just drop a couple of pins. Like so. I need to bring out some of this shadow just a little bit. Put it upside down. Okay. Let's go down a little bit. All right, I think that's my edit. And I saw Shakab's edit. I'll show that to you. But let's do a side by side. So here's the original image on the left. It's upside down, but I did select without geometry. I rotated the image upside down on both, but I'm pretty sure that's daffodil. But anyway, that was a big distraction. And I think the black and white just makes it creepier because these do look like faces to me here. Like there's an eye, there's a mouth, and there's a long nose, right? Same thing here and up here. So that's why I went with this particular edit. Um, and I think if I turn this off, we can look at Shakab's edit. So here's Shakab's edit. He did the same thing. He inverted it. Oh, that's cool. And I cropped in much tighter again, mainly because of this yellow. So cool. Okay, but yeah, nice job on the edit too there, Shakab. To keep the color version, it's nicely muted, I think, and well, and you brighten the exposure up, whereas I went with a very high contrast. All right, let's go to the next one, and okay, we have a seascape here from Angelo. Okay, the first thing I see is I need to download the optics module so that I can do the optical corrections to the lens camera combination. And this green arrow would not come up if it didn't think it had it. So almost there. Once that's optimized, we can continue editing. Any day now. For whatever reason, sometimes this takes a little while. Okay, it's not frozen. It just, my computer does this sometimes. It's not just with DxO, but when I'm doing other things sometimes, it just starts to bog down. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply the preset now that the module's downloaded. Let's go with a default. And I think we need a little bit of a horizon straightening. Let's see if the auto will do. Yeah. So, when you just turn it on, it just automatically tries to straighten it. It feels like it overcompensated just a bit. So I'm going to back it off a little. And all I really need to do, I think, is bring out the colors here in this temple or whatever it is. See what else is in here. Okay, so there's a new building going there. And we have this pole here. Uh, so this is what I'm going to do. Let's do an ultra wide, 65 by 24. And we'll just split that 50-50. Just come in a bit. Oh, why did it do that? Back. How about perspective? Yeah, let's straighten that out just a bit. No, it's fine. So right here in the center. Okay. This one pole is a little bit heavy. I doubt I can remove that effectively. Kind of. All right, good enough. Um, all right, let's select the sky. Throw in some clear view, some micro contrast. And then let me just do something there separately. Maybe a little bit of warmth and magenta and a slight pull to the highlights. Okay, then I don't know if I can, let's try the AI tool. We don't want to bring that up too much. Hmm. It might, I might benefit from just doing everything. Uh, I'm just hitting Shift and then my mouse button and just applying that same. Ooh, I got a little bit. I need to fix this thing. A little less feathering. Okay. That feathering's important though. Oops. Might have to add a little bit of okay. All right. Let me go back to this mask and just keep doing what I was doing. One more negative brush right in here. All right, let's make a new mask. Let's do the water and cool that off a bit. What we at? Just a little bit. Hmm. Okay, one more negative brush in here. To get all the way over. All right. Uh, just click some auto things. Stuff I can do globally. All right, so here's the original on the left, my edit here on the right. And it was just really about bringing out some of the details on the shoreline, but not so much that it looks like, you know, I don't know. I've overprocessed this a little bit, uh, but I think the steps that I took are really along um, is really the right direction. Uh, you know, from the crop to the tools that I use to the idea of just bringing out the shoreline, brightening up the shoreline in a way that looks natural somewhat. And I think it does because we have so much light over here in the sky. I think it's okay that if this is lit up a little more than it is on the right side. The only thing was this pole. I didn't do a great job of brushing that out, but it works. Unless you're looking for it, you probably wouldn't see it. But because you guys are watching the stream, you can probably see clearly the editing that was done to remove this part. But other than that, I think we're okay. So that's the final edit. Okay, so I did see this when I was downloading the images. I'm a little jealous, Robert, that you got one of these tall ships with the sails up. I don't know where you took this shot, but I'm jealous. Because I took a picture of this. I believe it's the same ship. Um, somewhere in Baltimore. I think this was. Oh no, that's not it, is it? Um, it's not that ship. It was maybe this one. I think this is the ship. I think we'll look. We'll look at the front and see because I can't see the name. But anyhow, going back to the edit. Did I close it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's the same ship. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Anyhow, uh, let's go ahead and do an extra sharp on this one. And it's very flat lighting, unfortunately, because it's cloudy. I think the horizon's straight, but let me see. Yeah, the horizon's straight. Let me just add some clear view. Oops, I meant to be in this page. I'm just going to exaggerate this to see how far we can go. Something like that. All right. So let me turn that off. What we're going to do is go ahead and select the ship. Do we have a boat detector? Subject detector? Let's try subject. See if that works. Yep, that worked great. So for this, I'm just going to crank up the clear view quite a bit. Let's do about 60% there. And then globally, we'll do about 30%. So now this is closer to 100. Let's try 35%. Okay. Yeah, that works. And then let's darken the water. Maybe just do that. Give it a little bit of cooling. Let's go back to the ship. Let's add a little bit of warmth. And let's see if we can just crop a little bit. like so. And the sails, let me check something here. Yeah, the light is really flat, but there's just a tiny bit of light. Uh-oh, wait. What just happened? Oh, I need to go back to the local tool. Here we go. And a little bit of warmth. Let's make that smaller. Okay. One there. One there. One there. Like that. Those last two don't look right. We'll do a separate one for the front. Okay, good. And then uh, let's do, select this flag. I just want the flag to be just a bit brighter and richer. Okay. I think we can do the same thing for the front. That and the mast. Okay. Let me go back to the mast. It's a little bit too warm. And let's try and tighten up the luma. Right about there. Okay, now let me try this again. We do really small ones. I don't like these in the front. I may have to do a separate one, but I'll come back to it. Let's do the sky. We're gonna have to add to this in here. Just using a brush. Brush is too big. Oh, did I? Yeah. Stanley put those in its own layer. All right. A little bit in here. All right, close enough. We do it this way. Stormy weather. Okay, let's try. Ugh, it's not great, but all right. I just have to go back and I should have done the sky first. I have to go back and fix these. So I'm going to get rid of these over here. I didn't like these. And then I can back these off just a little. I was a little bit sloppy with my brush, but that's all right. Can just see if that comes out. A little bit there. A little bit there. Okay. Here. Now, what I don't understand, let me see. There's no, what is causing that front mast to be, I'm just wondering why this is so bright here. It doesn't make sense to me. Oh, this mask. All right. What is this mask doing? Clear view. It's not adding any brightness. Let me just make a new mask. And move it tighter on the Luma. All right, good. Really should have done a better job with this. I really did a bad job here. Seriously? Right there. All right, let's not get too hung up on that. I should have done a better job though. Ugh. try that one more time. Brush, negative. Let's try auto brush. Whoops. I need a negative. That might be the way to go. All right, close enough. Let's do auto brush again. And we're almost done. God, I'm not happy with this front. But let's go back to the clouds. This one. It's this mask. If I diffuse that and not make it so dark. All right. And then let's use a control line instead. Tighten up the luma and the chroma. Okay. And the front mask, this needs a little bit of warmth. We're at 60, let's go to 7. Right there. All right, let's call it there. I'm spending a lot of time on this one. It's a nice picture though. All right, so there's the original on the left. Basically, I just wanted to get rid of some of the haze and bring out some of the colors that could be there. Maybe back off the white balance a little bit on these sails because they're just a tiny bit too yellow. Let's go back there. This one. Just go to about right there. Okay, that's better. And I think the sky needs a little bit of warmth as well. Because that was the last thing we did, right? Let's just add a little bit of warmth. Just come down. Okay, now, all right. Anyway, uh, there. Now I feel like the image has a little bit of depth because the image on the left was really flat. Not only because of the contrast, but it didn't have any depth. So I just tried to add, using those control points to kind of light paint a little bit, add some depth. Um, I think we're good. I mean, I didn't do a great job around the sails because I was kind of rushing it. But if we if we just look at the fine details, you can see how we did there. And I think it looks pretty good overall. All right, Robert. Very nice. Oh, wow, you put a lot of things. So you went down to, I'll come back. I'll come back to the chat. All right. Let's do the next one here from, looks like John. Okay, so this looks like from the same set uh, where they were playing cricket last week. So let's do regular default. Let's see if the auto horizon will work. Kind of. So this guy's jumping in the air. So let's just do that and just come in nice and tight. And I think we just need to fill the shadows a bit. Maybe a little more, not that much. Okay. Honestly, I think that's it. So not a whole lot for me to do here other than just crop into the guy jumping or falling. I'm not sure. Uh, and straighten the horizon. Then just fill the shadow in a bit because we have pretty good separation as it is with the color, white and green. Okay. Thank you, John, for a relatively easy one. Unlike Robert, sent me a freaking tall ship with a billion lines in it. Okay. Uh, let's see. We have one here from Tom. Okay, let me apply just a default preset. And again, I don't know, the framing here with these carts here in the background. And then this person is half. I feel like I can come in right here. Yeah, I like that. So all we have to do is just darken the background a bit. Maybe let me get rid of this matte. Let me try that one more time. Let's do select background. See what happens. There we go. That's easier. Uh, we'll just pull it in a little bit. What if we cool it off? No. A little bit of warmth. I think it's nicer. All right, and then let's select people. Just a little push in the midtones. Tiny bit of warmth. And then let's select the horse and probably do it. It's not, maybe the auto brush. Okay. Let's do some clear view. A little bit there, a little bit of warmth, and a little drop in the eye. Okay. Uh, so this is a pretty wide shot, and it looks like this guy's actually looking at this pair, horse and girl here, and really not at this horse. But when you look at it this way, you can't really tell. It looks like maybe he's checking out the saddle or something on this horse. But I think this is a much better composition. This is just too open, too many distractions. This makes a lot more sense to me. Um, no, really no need to do a split because it was a very clean image to begin with. But I warmed it up quite a bit, right? And really sharp. Yep. Okay. All right, last one here from, thank you, I guess, Tom. That was a cool shot. All right, so this one here is from Detlef. Not Detlef, Temple of Poseidon. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we have a nice little sunset or sunrise with a mini starburst there. Uh, okay, so I think all we need to do is exaggerate the warm tones and increase the contrast and fill in some light. So let's select the sky, just give it a little more drama. And this is a TIFF image, so it may have already been processed a bit. with denoising and stuff. So I can't apply any denoising at this point because the denoise and everything only works really with, you know, the AI denoising. So I have to do just sort of the standard here. That's fine. And let me just manually input some of this stuff. I don't think, okay. All right. So where are we at? A little bit punchier sky. Okay. Let's see if we can, let's just do, let's go this way. We're going to tighten up that mask quite a bit. Just want to find kind of the darker areas like that. Okay. Okay, good. It's about all we need, I think. Yeah. Okay. And then let's do another control line, but this time we're gonna pick just the brighter areas, like so. And bring those up. Okay. Getting a little bit of a haloing effect here, so I'm going to try and fix that with a negative. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's see where we're at. Good, good, good. Okay. Come back to this. Starting to question my decision down here. Let me see what it looks without that. Yeah, I think I can do better with this one. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of. All right, let's go to some global settings. Smart lighting's good, exposure's good, composition's good. Find a bit of contrast. Trying to think, we need just one more thing in here. Wonder if I can. Just bring, oops, just bring up right there a little bit more. Okay. So really all the image needed was just to be brightened. The composition was already, just fine, and the horizon's straight. It's a little bit underexposed, but that's intentional so that we could recover or maintain the highlight information, the blue and the yellow in the sky. Um, and then I just wanted to bring out the contrast in the columns, right? Between the highlights and the shadows. But the only problem was this area here, I just added a little bit more light underneath where the sun is shining, because it was just too flat here in the front for me. So I just made a creative choice to brighten this area here. If I had the raw image, I would add a little bit of warming to it, but the best I could do is just add some saturation to the yellows. But yeah, that's it. I'm not sure how this was processed before, or if it was just converted to a TIFF file without any processing. It's hard for me to tell. But either way, there's the before and the after. Okay, so let's go to the chat section and we'll just wrap things up here. John says, I did the same crop, just a little tighter. The wind was terrific, almost blowing the tripod over. Wow. Okay. Can't remember which one was yours. Oh, this one here was yours. So you did the same crop. Interesting. Okay. Very good. Uh, Heather says, goals, take me an hour to edit one photo if I'm lucky. Oh my God, no. No, no, no. I mean, I won't deny I've spent a long time on some edits, but I can get through a bunch pretty quickly. Like I just did this at Huntley Meadows yesterday. Um, and I got what, 6,412 images, and I narrowed it down to 127, and then that's it, and I'm done. So what I can do now, I can probably sometime today I'm going to delete the other 6,200 images from that shoot from yesterday. Okay. Whoops. And I bet you eat the ears of the chocolate bunny first. Oh, you're funny. When I was editing that, I cut the ears off, right? And let's see. Hello, Tom. Big smiley face there. And Paul says, my local rabbits have found their way into my backyard now, dug under the fence. Gives me something to do watching them in the morning. Oh, that's cool. Oh, wow. Look at this. Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We need to go out again. Where are you? You're back in town, I assume. Um, I probably won't go to the aquatic gardens tomorrow, but anyway, we'll figure something out. Robert is local to me. We have 3 in our front yard. Fortunately, we haven't moved into the backyard as my huge dogs aren't good at sharing. Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing in my backyard animal-wise that lives for very long. Yeah, that wouldn't end well for them. Ellie caught a blue jay yesterday. It just breaks my heart. I let her out. I didn't have my bird feeder set up or anything. So for days. So there shouldn't be any birds in my backyard, but somehow when she went chasing after a squirrel, because squirrels, what are you going to do? And then I blink and I turn around and she's chomping on a blue jay. I was like, how did you catch a blue jay? From where? And then, of course, the other blue jay, I think the mom, because this blue jay looked a little young. Maybe that's why I couldn't fly away as fast. The mom was screaming. It was horrifying. Anyway, there have been a number of possums that have been discovered. It's not good for their health, yeah. Ellie's gotten a possum before. This is a long-tailed tit, one of my favorite birds. Okay. Yeah, that tail was pretty long on that one. That was a really cool looking bird with that kind of peachy color, right? Where did that edit go? This one. That was that was really interesting. Okay. And love that capture of the I love that you captured the bug. I missed that. I didn't see a bug. Okay. There were a pair of them in back and forth to the nest feeding. Oh, that's cool. Oh, the bug in the bird's mouth. Duh. That makes sense. Okay. Yes, the peach color is quite strong. They have very small bird. They are a very small bird, but very cute. They are. They're actually hovering like a hummingbird. Oh, that's interesting. And hi, Rob. I fixed the problem with AF during magnification. I turned the AF targeting pad on. Oh, okay. Wow. All right. I barely remember what that was. That's something that was in the last live stream during the photo chat. But I'm glad you got that taken care of. What lens was that, Paul? The 150? Yeah, the one that Paul sent in was the 150 to 400. Definitely. And Thomas here really liked the black and white on that one. Okay, so that had to do with the seeds or whatever. Even this nice tight crop, a 1x1 would be nice, right? But this is what I ended up with. I thought the black and white worked well too. Nice edit on the landscape. Nat Geo like, okay, thank you. Had to drive down to Norfolk. Oh, okay. And that's the one Sebastian from Spain. Yeah, I tried to talk to some of the people. A lot of them didn't speak English. So, to be fair, I didn't speak Spanish. So there you go. Love the tall ships. Wish I lived closer. Yeah. And years ago, I had a special opportunity to see them from the harbor tugboat in Rhode Island. Too bad I wasn't taking pics back then. I know, right? Most of my life, I didn't take pictures either, you know? Other than some point and shoot stuff time to time. And exactly what I wanted for the picture, a bit more pop. Cool, I'm glad that worked. And gave you a tricky one, sent in an edit. Okay, yeah. Tom's was, which one? The horsey, I believe, right? This one. And Bob says, may I say developing others' photos live must be some pressure. A little bit, but you know, I've been doing it so long. Because like I said, my goal, there's no pressure because I'm not judging anything. I'm just doing it. There's a little bit of pressure in terms of trying to get it done sooner because I mean, I'm 2 hours into this stream now. So that's really the only pressure. But I appreciate the sentiment. Okay, so let me just do a quick look at if anything else came in, like your edits. Uh, so, okay, so Tom did a very, very similar edit, except I cropped in a lot tighter, right? Because that's mine. I cropped in way tighter. And I don't think it hurts the image at all. I think a tighter crop is still the better idea, but again, that's just my opinion. There's Paul's edit, same square crop, but Uh, a little bit soft, a little bit too bright on the bird. This is a very different edit. It's very muted, like low contrast. So if it was just the bird, that's one thing, but the entire image is very low contrast. That's an interesting edit. It kind of works. It gives it kind of an old school feel to it, actually. But good job. You did the same thing. You did a better job on the iris than I did, definitely. Definitely a better job there. Okay, and then this we'll have to do next week. And this has already been edited, so not much I can do there. Maybe Anthony's just sharing this, saying, because I remember he's talking about the icebergs being kind of season over. God, look at those things. It's amazing. Okay, and then Martin will have to do this one next week. So I'm going to just trash those and we'll be there. All right. Thanks everyone for sending your images in for me to edit. I really appreciate it. It's always a lot of fun, gives me a lot of good practice, and hopefully you picked up a few ideas and tips and how to use DxO Photolab. And as always, you guys have a great day, have a great weekend, and eat healthy and exercise. And I hope to see everyone again soon. I should be back on Sunday for normal photo chat.